if you're building up a agency, for example, or something that's like a monthly reoccurring stream, you want to make certain that all of your clients or all of your customers, they're satisfied. Otherwise, they're just going to leave and go to your competitors. So, what are your thoughts on this, James?
So my initial thoughts on improving customer satisfaction is to do with under promising and over delivering. So in everything that you do, I hate hearing salespeople that kind of over promise and they can never deliver on what the promises are, because long term they're not going to be a long term customer. So I'd prefer to under promise and then over deliver. But I'd say the main part of that is actually understanding the user journey and what the customer's end goals are, and working backwards from there and trying to help them achieve what their end goal is. That's initially what I would be trying to work on, both from a marketing standpoint and also from a sales standpoint.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think you kind of hit it on the head there with the salesperson, because we've seen it in some of our businesses as well, where people or salespeople in general, they will say, yes, I can do that. Yes, we can do that. Yes, we can do this. Yes, we can do that. They end up selling something that the business itself can't actually do. So I think definitely speak to your sales team, actually sell something that's achievable. Another thing that I would definitely touch on is don't always just chase the sales. Like, try to provide value as much as you possibly can. Provide value, provide value, provide value, and then sell something. Because at that point, if you're providing loads of value as a business, like let's say for example, we're talking about an SEO agency, right? If you can provide value to that business owner of, oh, by the way, we've started scaling out your website traffic, but if you also thought about doing some CRO, your website's a little bit outdated, maybe you want to look at doing a completely new website, or maybe there's a few different elements that you want to actually include, maybe like a chat box or a multi-step contact form, just certain things like that. And at that point, as soon as you actually plant the seed to that person, they might think, well, actually, no, if that you make a good point. We have went from, let's say, 1,000 hits a month to 5,000 hits a month. Why isn't our inquiries actually growing? So I think just being able to provide value as much as you possibly can definitely help as well with customer satisfaction.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, with regards to something that you've touched upon there, sometimes saying no to a customer is the best thing you can ever do. And I've been stung so many times where I've tried to help a customer out. And not only is it backfired on the service that I've said yes to,
Mm.
I've ended up losing the client in the long run, and they've been with me for years. And like, it's so disappointing at times when I look back on it, where we was providing great value with regards to providing backlinks for the client. They had a problem and they wanted a redesign being done, and they asked, could we do it? We want, it wasn't our strengths, but we just said yes because we thought, well, we don't want to lose the client. We want to help them out as much as we can. We got involved in a site that was just built horribly wrong. And every time we tried to change a button, it broke something else. And it just became an absolute logistical nightmare. We ended up doing stuff that we don't do. And this is where I kind of always talk about, if you're a roofer, just go and do roofing. Don't try and start doing plumbing work and other stuff. You're a roofer. Stay in your lane. Be the best you can in your lane. So sometimes being able to say no can massively help. And obviously then also with regards to customer satisfaction, they're always satisfied with the deliverables of what you're doing. But I would also touch upon, like in the SEO community, you should be networking. So if your client does want help with conversion rate optimization, I think you should know who is the best in the lane at conversion rate optimization. If they need help, if you're providing amazing backlinks, but the rankings aren't going up very well, and the content isn't very good, and they need someone to go and assist them with optimizing the content, or doing a topical map, or doing keyword research for missing pages that they might not have on the website, you should be able to pass them on to someone to say, look, this is what these live and breathe. These are the best in the lane at content optimization. These are brilliant at keyword research and topical maps. These are brilliant at technical SEO. And what you do is don't say yes to everything, pass it on to others. And what you start to realize is these other companies who you're passing it on to will start returning the favor. And you're then getting more leads from these other companies for exactly what you do, which could be link building. Now, obviously, there's loads of different caveats to that. It could be in different industries and stuff like that. But from a link building point of view, building that network as well, and then you're maintaining that customer satisfaction because when they don't know what to do, you've got answers for them.
Yeah, definitely. I think one saying that resonates with what you've just said is you can offer McDonald's £5,000 for a steak, but they'll turn you down because they're not in the fine dining. All they do is just fast food. So just remember that it might sound like a really good deal to go and serve someone steak, but if you've never done steak before, it's probably not the most ideal scenario. So obviously we've touched about providing value. We've touched about not just chasing sales, trying to just generate more revenue. But what about when it comes to actually going back and forth with the client? Because again, with the rise of AI and stuff like that, surely it's easy, or it's a lot easier now to get response times within 12 hours to people. If somebody's asking you a question like, oh, what is it about this solar panel that makes it really good? Do you think that's important? Do you not think that's important?
Yeah, do you know what? Right, I'll give you one or two kind of examples of this where it's absolutely key. So, in my opinion, the more touch points with the customer, the better.
Mm-hmm.
Keep them in the loop of where things are up to, right? But one of the best examples I can give you is Uber, right? When you're looking to kind of book a taxi. Now, these aren't specific touch points, but when you order Uber, you know where your taxi is up to, and you see how many minutes it is away. Now, you also see when the taxi might be stopped at some traffic lights, and if by seeing where something's up to along the way, and you're having to wait 15 minutes, you're fine with that user experience waiting 15 minutes because you can see where they're up to. People's issue is when sometimes for another taxi, you might want to be waiting 7, 8 minutes. But when you don't know how much longer it's going to be, you start getting flustered. Where's it up to? Where's the taxi up to? Exactly the same thing happens so we've got a disavow service and it's not quick. You can't get your disavow back to within 48 hours. In fact, it takes a long time to go through every single backlink to look at the toxicity thresholds. And it could take up to 3 weeks. And that's for a few members of staff to do the disavow. But as long as they know that this is going to take 3 to 4 weeks, and they continuously every few days, we're just letting you know we've got through 10%, 15% of your backlink profile. We've gone through this. You keep them up to date with what like toxicity threshold that they're at. When you start to update them on that, they love the user experience. The amount of feedback that we get and testimonials that we get that says, do you know what? That was one of the best experiences that I've ever had. You kept us in the loop of what you're doing and why you're doing it. And those touch points of knowing where something's up to, in my opinion, is really important. Even if you could deliver something quicker and not be doing the touch points, people just like to know where things are up to along the way.
It's like I don't know if you ever do this, but when you order something off Amazon and it's saying next day, it gives you like a time slot from 1 p.m. till 3 p.m. As soon as it hits 3:01, you're sat outside like, where's the delivery guy? Like, has he gotten lost? So it makes total sense. And again, like that's another thing that Amazon's actually done really well. You can actually start tracking your delivery guy. Might be a little bit stalker like, but they've definitely done the actual data behind it and realized that it's probably a much better user experience than not knowing.
But even on the touch points from Amazon, like even the place the order, they get a thank you email saying you
Yeah.
placed this order. So one thing you can just double check, did I place, oh God, I didn't know I added that to my cart. If you made a mistake, you might be able to go in and cancel a certain element. But also then dispatch. Okay, now your item is now being dispatched. Now your item is now with your courier and stuff like that. At least you know where things are up to. That
Mm-hmm.
you're fine to wait when you know how long something's going to be. It's when you don't know, at that point, you start chasing people up. You then start going, oh, this experience is not very good and stuff like that. So I would say, yes, touch points and after sales is very important to improve customer satisfaction.
Yeah, definitely. It's also, I don't know what your thoughts are on this, but it's also a very cheap job as well. Like an apprentice could probably do something like that. It doesn't need to be somebody with 15 years experience and a degree and stuff like that. It could literally just be a 12 and a half grand, 13 grand a year apprentice doing that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like you said, they can follow a process of like you're at step number one, you're at step number two, you're at step number three, and they just need to know when they're at step number four to send step number four. And a lot of it can even be automated, to be fair, nowadays with AI.
Yeah.
So certain systems can be put into place and it can go, okay, send them this, this, and this, and then stuff like that. So, and if you are looking not just for customer satisfaction, as you start to improve customer satisfaction, you can then normally start to get more sales. So the
Mhm.
upsells and the cross sells and the downsells that you can start to do with the more touch points, because they might start responding saying, do you do this? And thanks a lot. Can you do that? There might be other things along the way of those extra touch points that you might be able to get more sales put in there as well.
Yeah, definitely. So that's been our video on how to improve customer satisfaction. If you guys do have any questions or if you think that we've missed out on anything, drop a comment down below and we will be in touch. Thanks for watching.